Welcome back, everybody. Hey, we have Carter Montgomery, one of the youngest IFBB pros in the history of the sport, sitting right here from San Diego. My man, drop in and give us an update on what you do, how you've been, and introduce yourself to the audience, my guy.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
As he mentioned, I am one of the youngest IFBB pros, 2018 Mr. USA. Me and my wonderful wife run a hormone and health optimization company. So our goal is basically taking people from where they are now to their ultimate goal, helping them feel better, look better, and operate at their absolute best.
Awesome. So what I hear right there is you take a basic fitness and wellness program and basically jack it up to the highest possible level and get crazy results. Is that about right?
That's about it, man. I mean, the biggest thing with all this is most people, the reason they don't achieve their fitness goals is they have some cookie cutter bullshit that doesn't fit harmoniously with their lifestyle. So we take a very in-depth approach. We look at the entire picture, dial in every single area. Again, make sure it works seamlessly with your lifestyle in order to bring that goal to reality.
Awesome. And when you're talking about results, and we hear a lot of stuff online, macros and supplementation and all these different terms, kind of break it down to, I want to start today. What does that kind of look like? Where are we going to go from here?
Yeah, the first thing we need to do is we need to look at your internal health. If we're not optimal internally, we're never going to yield the physical progress at the rate we want to yield it. So one of the first things we do is we do an in-depth blood work consultation. So see what's going on internally, not just on the hormone side of things, but making sure health markers are good. There's no vitamin deficiencies. Again, really building that foundation to allow you to achieve that successful transformation. Then what we do is we dive into the nutrition piece. Results are ultimately like 80 to 90% nutrition driven. That's where we're going to break down your life. How is your life set up? What do you do for work? How is your life set up? Do you have dinner with the family? Breaking down all these variables that most people don't know how to control. We create a strategy around that. Again, make it fit seamlessly with your lifestyle. And then now we're building the next step of the pyramid. From there, we go into training, supplementation, same concept, making sure we're doing what fits best with your lifestyle and your goals. Again, creating that harmonious approach to ultimately allow you to achieve the progress in the most sustainable way so you can make and sustain that progress for the rest of your life.
Perfect. So that's what I hear is that's essentially stage ready for someone that's never stood on stage.
100%.
Right? You're applying close to a decade, right? You trained at the competitive level for the most part.
Yep.
So a decade of experience to create essentially a stage ready athlete.
Exactly.
That's dope. And it might take 6 months to a year typically, right?
100%. Because we want to make sure, again, we're taking a sustainable approach. Like this is no like quick 4-week beach body bullshit. Like again, we got to make sure we're doing something that you can stick to long-term, fits harmoniously with your lifestyle. So again, you don't have to go through that fucking process again. You can walk around sexy and confident for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I want to be very clear here when we're talking to the audiences. Ascension is not a chicken and fucking rice bullshit kind of programming. This is high level. It is the Ferrari of fitness programming and lifestyle changes. So just to be clear, it's not a 12-week chicken and rice binge to where you starve and you just happen to be skinny fit. No, these are creating savage people. I've seen some of Carter's transformations from very well-known and prominent coaches, professionals and entrepreneurs, multimillionaires, etc. And it is unparalleled. They go from normal human to fucking stud monkeys in like a year. So if you're interested in something like that, you got to pay attention to what these people are doing because it isn't something that you're going to get at that low ticket, cheap part. You have to dedicate time, energy, and resources at a high level and understand what's going on to get results. Now, on that, let's go real quick. What is some of the things where a typical client would fail? Like I already know for me, it's the nutrition, right? You tell me I can't eat ice cream, I don't want to live, right? So how do I eat ice cream and do what it is that you want to do? Because I know it can be done.
Exactly. The nutrition is always the biggest obstacle for everyone. No, people don't typically have issues training. They don't have issues going to the gym. It's time management and it's nutrition. So the biggest piece with that is, again, we have to learn how to incorporate a lot of the things you like to do. Again, date nights with my wife are very important, crucial for the marriage. So the one things I make sure we incorporate for all my clients who are in relationships as well. So again, if you want to have the ice cream, if you want to have the good meal out, you want to have the date night, how can we make sure that we control the variables in order to allow you to enjoy the fun parts of life, but still yield progress? It's going to take sacrifices. It is going to take us setting those guidelines, but everything can be incorporated and managed if you have that right strategy.
Yeah, that's understandable. How I manage it is I don't eat very many carbs when I'm going on date night. So I have my ice cream and my dessert. I do the Hermosi shit, never have dinner without dessert, right? So I'm working on that 220 and single digit body fat so I can get away with a lot more fucking ice cream.
And that's a big piece that you kind of brought into here as well, is a lot of people don't understand that everything needs to be broken into phases. You're not supposed to be on a low calorie cutting phase for the rest of your life.
Right.
That happens quick. We can lose body fat very quickly. And the goal is to go through that reverse diet process, work up your metabolic set point so you can now actually start consuming more calories, maintaining that low body fat. And when you have more calories to play with, you can incorporate a lot more of the fun shit.
Hell yeah. A lot of people don't understand, though, when you say reverse diet, that's like Chinese to a lot of people. But reverse diet, let's just say what is a peak caloric intake on a reverse diet, because I know it is probably 2-3x normal. So kind of where do you see typical clients on that reverse diet at the peak side of that bulk phase, if you will?
Yeah, so everyone's like maintenance calories, because that's the goal is the end of a reverse diet is when we get you back to your maintenance calories. And so for most people, that's all going to vary. Typically, like again, for like a 200-pound male, like you're probably looking at 38 to 4,000 calories as your maintenance calories. Again, if we're keeping energy expenditure in a good spot as well. Okay. But again, it varies based off the person, their body composition, and time too. Like everybody's body's going to respond a little bit different. Sure. But that's why, again, having someone who can do the thinking for you, set you up the strategy, you simply just put in the work, we can get you there very quickly. And then again, once you get to that higher set point, things are so much more manageable.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to be very clear though. The eating structure in the United States suggests about a 2,200 calorie, 22 to 24 for maintenance. So he's talking about jacking you up to almost double your maintenance calories that's on any box of nutrition. So that's an indication of high muscle mass and high activity. So you don't get to be a fat, old piece of shit slob eating, chicken and junk food at a 4,000 and 5,000 calorie surplus. You just don't. But if you're massively active and you've built your metabolism back properly, the body won't know if it's done correctly. It's just burning through calories. It's a machine.
Exactly. And so I run the business with my wife, and we work with a lot of females as well. And we have a female right now. She's 145 pounds, insane physique. Dude, she's pushing 3,400 calories right now. Which is insane, because that's more than what most dudes are eating. Yeah. But she's living a great life. She can eat pretty much whatever she wants. She continues to yield progress. She maintains a sub 18% body fat for a female.
Yeah,
that's like 6% for a dude.
Yeah, that's ripped.
So she looks shredded. She looks awesome. Her performance is great, and she's fucking enjoying life. That's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Like that's more than I eat right now. So like I hate her guts. I hate her. Don't you send me her Instagram. I will not be pleased. I hate it. Cardio. Got to do cardio. Okay. So you mentioned something about date night. So I understand married life, professional life, businesses, entrepreneurs is very difficult to manage. So how do you, as a young entrepreneur, kind of manage that whole life wellness? Because I know they say you got to put in the work in your relationship. It's not really work, but it's effort. And you got to put in life in your business and into yourself. So how do you manage that? Obviously, date night's one of them, but I know it's not easy. So kind of give an old salty dog some tips on how to be more romantic, if you will.
The biggest piece of this is perspective, right? We got to understand that my business is only going to grow and thrive as much as my relationship and my personal development grow at the same rate. So if I'm neglecting my relationship, if I'm neglecting my own personal development, my business will eventually hit a ceiling. Sure. So in order to remove that ceiling and make sure it can go where it needs to go, I got to make sure I'm putting attention to every other area. Sure. So many people are so money driven. They're so focused on the business, which is great. I do admire that. But what happens when your wife fucking hates you? You have no relationship with your kids. You're a fat fucking slob because all you've done is basically focused on making money. You live a very unfulfilled life. And I see this with a ton of clients.
Sure.
Work with a lot of clients. They're 45 plus. They've built empires. They have the cars. They have the money. They have the family. They have all of this shit. Checkbox down the list. But they still wake up and they're just not fulfilled. They're not happy. And why is that? Because they look in the mirror and they're not happy with who they see. They look like shit. They have no relationship with their wife, no relationship with their kids. So the biggest piece of that is, again, putting the priorities into all areas. And just like you would with business, say, hey, I have these goals or I have these metrics I need to hit for business, the non-negotiables, sure. We have to apply that shit to other areas in our life. So again, for my wife, one of those is being, we have to go on date night. We go on date night basically 2 times every single week. Crucial. We need to be able to step away from the business, spend some time together, fucking shut out the world and enjoy our time together and connect.
Sure.
We also, like, once a quarter, we'll do some kind of vacation. Even if it's just a small trip in town, or we're actually going to another state or going to another country, we do something to be able to spend time together and connect. Because again, if I don't do that piece, the business is not going to grow at the rate I want to, because that is my energy source. My wife, my relationship is my energy source. So I have to pour into that piece.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And, you know, I've personally struggled over the years of being hyper driven. I grew up super poor, like no electricity on the house kind of shit, no food in the refrigerator. And as sad as that is that just puts this massive pressure on me to succeed. Like I will stop at nothing to grow a business or do anything like that. I will sacrifice everything, air, food, sleep. I'll go 30, 60 hours, doesn't matter, until I accomplish the thing I want. And that is super unhealthy in the aspect of relationships with family and your significant other, is because those people don't want to be a second to your world, right? You have to figure out how to balance the priorities of relationship, family, parenting, and professional, as well as protect yourself and your physical wellness and mental wellness, spiritual wellness. It's a juggling act. And I was never great at that. I was always a one-trick pony. Yeah. That was it. But that trick was the best you ever seen, but I couldn't do shit with, I didn't even care. I'm like, oh, date night. I was like, that's cool. Go with your friends.
Yeah.
Go with your side dude. Yeah. I didn't give a fuck. Like I was down working, and that's where it was. And my relationships failed. My family failed. All those connections failed is because I was doing something greater than self always. And it would cost me everything. At this point in life, I know that the balance is important. So I do date night.
Yeah.
I pick up the phone and call the people I care about, even though it's not really on my schedule. Like, it's not for me, it's for them. Because I have to pull my head out of the sand a little bit to focus some energy and resources on love.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, the thing with that though, is that's an issue a lot of guys run into, is because again, when you are so successful in business and the money comes in, you're building something great, you're helping so many people, it's very hard to pull the attention away from that, because again, you're seeing all of it actually turn into dollars, seeing your life change, seeing you acquire all of these things that are allowing you to create a beautiful life for your family. But we also got to understand that, like, that's not everything. Like, that's not everything. I mean, like, I always use the example, like, Tom Brady's wife, Giselle. Tom Brady's fucking good looking. He's got plenty of money, all this shit. But she still cheated on him with the fucking jiu-jitsu instructor. Why was that? Because they were lacking connection for some reason. Obviously, there could have been other shit, but, like, most likely there was a lack of connection. So it doesn't matter what you build, all the shit you have, how good looking you are. If you miss that connection piece, unfortunately, you're going to push away the people you love. Yeah,
100%. And not to bash on Tom Brady, he's a beautiful man, and he's one of the most successful quarterbacks in the history of the 100%. Sport. It goes to show you that success and those achievements doesn't keep your partner in the household, if you will. It's the things you do to facilitate the relationship that he probably wasn't satisfying that ultimately resulted in the collapse of their relationship, most likely.
100%. And that's also why I look at it like, just because you've made money or if you built a successful business does not mean you're successful.
Right.
Like, I look at true success, because again, I have plenty of clients who look like complete dog shit. Health is in the fucking gutter, but they have a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, you're not successful. To me, it's successful when you actually can learn how to manage everything and build every aspect of your life to create that true empire. Not just financially, but with the connections, with the resources, all of that shit.
You have pillars of excellence like in business. So if you had the greatest product that existed in the history of the world, but your marketing and sales was in the garbage, that product would fall on deaf ears. It's the same aspect here in life, is that money is probably the easiest thing to obtain. Realistically, to make $3 to $1 million is not that complex as an entrepreneur, but to have a beautiful family and children that love and respect you, and achievements personally, you're ripped, you could take off your shirt, you've climbed Mount Everest, you can box, you could do all these things and run your business. Well, now that becomes very difficult, right? So you have to be a master of many skills at a very high level to reach total success. A person absent spirituality, absent family, is a one-trick pony. That's great, you have a ton of money, bro, and you lead with that, but I know right now I can take your bitch. I can take her right in front of you, is because you look like a wildebeest, old shot out fuck, and I'm coming through like a stud with actual life experience. Yeah, you got a little bit more money than me. Let me walk in the room. She's checking me out. You don't want to be in that position. All you have to do is handle some energies in self-development, right? put some energy into being a better person, and you eventually will raise that up, and you'll attract the right type of female, and she'll look at you like you're her stud. My chick looks at me like I'm a stud. I take my shirt off. She's like, God damn. I'm like, yeah, that's what you want. You don't want her to be like, oh my God, can you turn out the lights? No, how embarrassing. And you don't want to be a female in that exact same position. Be a sexy mama. Be a badass studly dude. Like, it's designed to fit together. If you put in no effort, you get what you deserve, which is the leftovers.
Absolutely. That's why we travel a lot. And so anytime we go to a resort, we go out to the pool, I'm always the best looking motherfucker there. So I know my wife is not looking at any other dude, and I take pride in that shit. Yeah. But again, I come from a bodybuilding background. I didn't always have the business, the finances, all this other shit. I was a one-trick pony for a very long time.
Yeah.
But it took me realizing, like, all right, cool, the body's dope. I'm grateful for everything I've accomplished, but like, I'm going to be fucking nowhere. I'm going to be fucking eating out of a fucking cardboard box on the side of the street if I don't get my shit together. And that's why I shifted all that energy that I had, that I put into building my body, and I started shifting it to other areas of my life. And that's where I really saw everything just grow exponentially.
Yeah, you have to put in the work in other areas. Like, you have to master the business. It's sad is I have IFBB pros that have messaged me many times online, probably as many as 5 to 10, come through, and they're probably at the end of their career. So they're in their 40s, 50s. So we obviously connect. They're like, how's this studly motherfucker doing it? And I'm like, well, you didn't do business. And I'll say, pull up your Stripe. They're like, well, I was like, how much money did you make in fitness coaching for the month? And they'll be like 3 G's. And I'll pull up mine. I was like, here's how much I made in fitness. And I don't even talk about motherfucking fitness. I was like, I did like 15 G's. And they're like, how'd you do that? It's like, you're not doing the business aspect of what you did. You mastered the body. I was like, but being ripped is only one aspect of the component of selling a product that's revolving around fitness. It might not, if you look at me, it might not even matter, right? I'm barely fit, right? And I outsell a champion in their own game, and it's because I understand marketing and sales. That's it. I'm a monster with those things. It's because I know it's shake more hands, touch more people, make more reaches, and they think just because they're fit, the world's just gonna come to them. That's an ego thing. No. You gotta go out and touch the world and like put your product in front of them constantly, and remind them that you're the man. And eventually, when they want your product, they do business, but they're not coming to you overwhelming. This isn't motherfucking McDonald's here, right? Like, they don't see those M's and just know it's like, oh, that's a burger that is $7 and I can get it all day long. Those fries are perfect. Like, they don't know that about me.
Yep.
So like, I got to remind them, like, I'm competing with the McDonald's out there. Like, hey, my burger and fries are great. Like, come check them out. Like, here's a free one, like, constantly. And those guys, for whatever reason, they've failed massively at marketing their product bad. Yeah. And, I remind them when I pull up my trainer eyes and Stripe, and they're like, how'd you do that? I was like, the same way. What brought you here? Why'd you message me?
Yeah.
I was like, they're not messaging you for fitness, and we need to change that. So that's amazing that you're taking care of your family and doing that. And I know that's extremely difficult. Let's fast forward a couple years. Where do you see little people in your life? Like, and how do you imagine that's going to add challenges to that really tranquil environment that you've set up over the decades, right?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So first off, I'm extremely blessed to be surrounded by a bunch of clients who have become very close friends, who have 4, 5, 6 kids. They're married. They are teaching me the way.
Yeah.
But it just comes down to everything, which is it's time management.
Yeah.
Right. When kids get added into the mix, unfortunately, you have to master your time management at a whole new level. I feel like I've done pretty fucking good with my time management right now, but I know when kids get added to the mix, it's going to be a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
It's also understanding that, like, men too, a lot of you are just so fucking insecure and all fucked up in the head. And like, you need to understand that you need to be the rock for your wife, because she's about to give up her body to have a kid. She's then going to go through a massive hormonal swing after that. She's then going to have to go through the journey of trying to regain her confidence and her body back while being a mother. Right. So I'm just anticipating that, like, I need to make sure that I'm taken care of mentally and physically, and then master that time management piece so I can bring little kids in this world, be the father they need to be the best husband I can be for her. And that's really how that picture will come together. So I don't really have like a clear answer on how I'll do it. I just know when I master that time management piece, I'll be able to fucking succeed just like I have with everything else.
Yeah, it's a new challenge, and every challenge is really defined by the amount of effort you can put at it.
Yep.
And how good at developing the skills around that new challenge it is. Children aren't really that difficult. Their addition, I see it all the time in business, and what I do is it's a crutch. I'm a single mother. I can't do shut the fuck up. Like you are, but like you aren't parenting for 8 hours of the day once you get home from work. I was like, you're fucking off. Like I know it, just like everything else in your life. Like there's massive efficiencies in a 24-hour day and you're just not using them, and you use your child as a way out. So
I mean, that's the key thing right there. The amount of people that blame their fucking issues on their children drive me fucking crazy. I'm not fit because of my kids. I can't go make more money because of my kids. You realize what you're doing to your fucking children when you do that shit? You're showing them that basically they ruined your fucking life, which is horrible.
That's horrible.
You know, so it's like, get your fucking shit together. Just like you said, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Master your fucking time management, and you'll be able to make it happen. Because I've seen it happen we've had clients, single mothers of 4 that work full time. She has every excuse in the book, but she figures it the fuck out.
Yeah, 100%. Here was my routine is I was active duty Marine, war on terror. I was staying up late at night going without sleep. So I'd put the kids down. I would be the one that would get up in the middle of the night because I don't require a ton of sleep. I hate to sleep, so it fucking pisses me off. I have to close my eyes. I love life. And I don't really require it. So I would study till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. The baby wake up, do its thing, throw in a bottle, go back to sleep, catch another couple hours, be up at 5, and then go do my Marine bullshit all day long, train and move, and then right back again. And so I managed to get a bachelor's degree while I was a father, providing for a family and changing diapers in the middle of the night. And my wife worked and she did what she was supposed to, but we had to figure out how to go further, so it required more output. Yeah. You're not going to get where you want to go by doing the same old 8-hour day. Like if you want to go double, why don't you try doing a 12-hour day? Doing a hustle on Saturday and Sundays, like you got to do more. And with kids, you have to be aware is that it's not that difficult. It really wasn't that difficult. I've had way harder times without any of those things than I had with them, is because I just added it into my life and figured a way out. There's 7 billion people on the planet. They figured out how to be parents and put a roof over their head and go to college and be attorneys and doctors and presidents of the United States and secretaries of defense and everything. I was like, they all did it. Were they superheroes or am I just being lazy?
Well, then it's also outside of just the lazy piece. What the fuck are you doing with your time that you do have? Like, are you doing activities or taking part in shit that's pulling energy away from you, so then you're going into each day even more exhausted?
Yeah.
Or do you continue to do things that are actually fucking hyping you up, pouring energy into you, like allowing you to then operate at a whole new level? And I think that's where a lot of people fuck up, is like, look at your daily habits, look at what you're doing, look who you're hanging around. Dude, if you're fucking drinking from fucking Friday to Sunday and just getting shit-faced, like, no wonder you feel tired and shit on Monday. Like, it's not because you got less sleep. It's because you're taking part in shit that's pulling energy out of you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you have to be part of personal development, anything in life, is understand where your energy vampires are in your life that are sucking energy away from developing a skill or progressing in some direction. I don't care if it's playing the guitar or just being a good mother or father. If you stopped watching soccer for a few hours so that you could be a better parent and maybe picked up, a set of Legos or something like that, and were like educating your child on something like how to build, an addition on your house or how to wax a car. I don't know, any skill in life, you were teaching that other person. Don't you see the advantage here to being more optimal with your time management? Is now I have a few hours extra every week or day to dedicate towards this thing for my child, if you will. And then at the end of the year, there's 52 weeks in a year. Now we have 150 hours of skill development here. It starts stacking up, and then you add in a decade of that. Now it's massive. That's 1,500 hours of skill development. Yep. That's 1/6 of the way towards mastery. And that was just, you had to give up a couple hours of soccer watching, right? Come on. And you're talking Saturday and Sundays, you're just not screwing off, throwing energy away into these things that aren't going to better your world. And that's what I noticed is I was really good at putting energy into figuring out how to be a better person. If it wasn't education, it was some form of skill development, something that was bettering me. I didn't do a lot of mindless hobbies. Yeah. I did wellness and development hobbies, like read the Bible a half dozen times. Why? Is to be better spiritually. Like I can't improve spirituality if I don't educate on the spirit, right? I wasn't taught that in my family. So I just put energy into the bucket of you, improves you over time. And even if it's just 30 minutes a day. That's 30 minutes adds up in a week, month, quarterly and annually, and then over decades. And that's how I got so far in my life, was just pouring back into myself.
I love it. Always a student.
I'm an infinite startup. Infinite. I am a student and a scholar at the same time. And I think that's missing. A lot of people are way too comfortable. And it's people like Carter that from the outside, with no vested interest, start to analyze your life and where your energy vampires are and what's holding you back from the next level of your life. It's not just fitness. Fitness is just an indicator of how other areas of discipline are unfolding in your life. If you had a good body for many years, that would most likely mean is that you're going to live a healthier, longer life. So it's really not about today. We see that as an indication today, but it's about 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I'm 45 years old, and I can chase my grandchildren around all day long. I'm pretty fit. I'm pretty healthy, and that's because I made better choices decades ago.
Yep.
Right. And I completely dropped alcohol and drugs, all forms of that. So no cigarettes, no drugs, no pills, none of that stuff. I don't do any of that. And I feel probably realistically late 20s.
Love
right.
it.
I do good. And sometimes things hurt, but that's what happens when you have gray hair on your face. But I go into Miami and check out some other 45, 35-year-old dudes. I'm like, oh man, it looks like a lot of weight on those ankles.
Yeah. It's also what happens when you go to war a couple times. You're going to feel a little beat up, right?
I have 6.5 years in a combat zone.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a few too many. So
Yeah, that'll wear on you, not just mentally, but fucking physically as well. So
I
I imagine a few things hurt.
All my joints are struggling a little bit, but that's all right. I still lift. I'm strong as fuck, and it's another excuse. Yeah, I went through a bunch of those things and it was tough, but this isn't really about me. It's about you. Everybody has their journey, and what is tough for one individual is perceptually just as tough as another thing. So if someone's struggling to keep the lights on and drop 30 pounds and take care of their kids and go to school at night, that's their struggle. And my struggle was, dropping bombs on, Iraqis 24/7 for 10 months at a time.
Yeah.
That was my struggle, but they were probably perceptually just as horrible. And, that's going to haunt you. And what haunts me, haunts me. That's it. And that motherfucking ice cream. God damn it. All right. So your business is like probably killing it. I can tell. I know some of the backstories that the audience doesn't know. So really drive down, what is it that you do in a day? Like you're living that dream life, that you're a good looking guy, you're jacked, you're successful, you have a beautiful wife. Like you're living the American dream right now. What does that look like to you every day?
Yeah, like my routine.
Sure. Day in a life.
Day in the life of me. I'm up at 3:40 in the morning.
God.
Yep, vampire hours. But I thrive in that setting for a few reasons. No one's fucking up, dude.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful. There is nothing more peaceful than that time when, again, everyone's sleeping. So I'm up at 3:40 in the morning, wake up, have a little meal, I then drive to the gym. I come down here to Miami to train with some of my friends. Before I go, I get to the gym about 30 minutes early, sit in the car for about 30 minutes, send a gratitude text to my wife every single morning, just about whatever's on my mind, something I appreciate about her. That's how, again, I can make sure I'm pouring into her. So when she wakes up every morning, she's already waking up to start her day good and knowing that I appreciate her. I'm grateful for her. Then I train, so now it's time for me to pour into myself, knock that piece out. I also like to train nice and early because then I can go about the rest of my day and not have to even fucking think about that shit. Yeah. No matter how crazy work gets or whatever it is, that shit's knocked off the list. Then we'll come home from the gym, cuddle my dog for probably like 10 to 15 minutes. I love my little puppy. So we'll hang out for like 10, 15 minutes, then get ready, and then I'll just dive into work. I do love to work. I love to serve my clients, and that's where I do spend a majority of my day. Typically, every once in a while, we'll take a little midday break, go to the beach, go sit by the pool, go do something, just kind of disconnect for like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Then again, I'll just pretty much, I'm very grateful I work with my wife. And all I want to do is ultimately make money, help people, and spend all my time with her. I'm able to do that every fucking day. Yeah. And I'm beyond blessed for that.
That's pretty sick.
And then, pretty much just knock out work for most of the day. And then the end of the day, we'll do something. We have a golf cart, so we'll go cruise the golf cart like down to the beach or some shit. Spend some time together. My wife always cooks dinner, so we always have our dinner together every night. And we'll spend the last couple hours before we go to bed just hanging out, chilling, watching TV, talking, doing whatever it is. I'm right back at it the next day, man. I'm a simple guy, but I just want to make money, help people, hang out with my fucking wife. get to do that shit every day.
Yeah, no, I'm a victim of how excited I am by making money. Nothing feels better when like you have a stripe come through and it's like, jing, it's like, oh shit. It's like the lotto.
Yeah,
it's
like, ching.
yeah, you feel like a champion. It's like a video game. Maybe it's a little toxic, but I don't know. I love it. Now you gave us the positive.
Yeah.
What is an area that Carter needs to improve on?
Yeah, for sure.
And like, you're like, I'm fucking off here.
Yeah. One of the biggest things for me is just making peace with a lot of shit from my past. I'm one of those people where I'm like I hate the fucking word trauma. Like I hate all that shit. Kind of like you're saying, like everyone's gone through shit.
Sure.
But I got to a point recently in probably the past like year where I realized that my brain is wired a certain way from a lot of my past experiences. And I never actually addressed those because I poured myself into all these physical things, building the body, building the business, all this other shit. But then when you really sit down by yourself in silence, you realize, damn, like I'm responding or I'm triggered by certain shit because of past experiences. Sure. So one of the biggest things for me right now is just kind of making peace with some of that shit and understanding that everything I went through, it was done for a reason, and I now have to have a different perspective around it so I can rewire my thoughts and my actions now to not project that shit on other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's self-awareness is good. And I'll drop in right here is that trauma in my personal life. So my mom shot my dad when I was 5, right in front of me, and lots of violence, drug dealers, like all kinds of crazy shit. Then we have all the Marine stuff. The trauma, the beautiful part about trauma, we think oftentimes it's the negative aspect of survival. Like, and it puts us in that victim state. This thing happened to me, so this is why there's certain things wrong with my character or my personality. Reframe it is you got to experience those things because oftentimes those traumatic experiences strengthen you. So a weak person would not be able to be an IFBB pro. They would give up when they didn't have 22-inch arms in 6 weeks. Well, I did the program, and I ate how the expert said, and I took all the hormones, and my arms are still 16 inches. What did I do wrong? And they'll just give up. A powerful person that's been through a lot doesn't give up under those tough times is because they've had it worse.
Yep. And
it hardened them over time to be a survivor. And you have to reframe your trauma. And that is a triggering word a little bit. It just sounds weak to me. Trauma, right? I'm like, oh, poor you, Timmy. Here's a tissue. Right now, someone's head's being sawed off in Iraq for, stealing something stupid. Like, okay, like get over it, bro. Yeah, I got it. Like grandpa was a little too handsy. Like I get it. Like let's move past that. Like learn to let go and allow those things to strengthen you. They're not weaknesses. They're attributes of power, and use them as such. And, go back to it, be like, I really went through some hard things, but never allow your past to define where you're at today. It is not someone else's fault that you experience these things, and it's going to take you from 3 to 10 when you get close to that experience. Like, back it down. Like, I need a minute. Like, this isn't really about you. Like, I experienced these things, and you're doing these actions that remind me of this fucking ex that was a psychopath fucking bitch that manipulated me, and it's not you, it's me, but I need a minute to, like, work through this and understand this isn't real. I'm making this up. Like, you're not there yet, and you're really amazing. Like, that's hard to do as an adult, but you have to learn how to hit the pause.
Yeah.
See what's causing it, and then how can I apply this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. It's exactly that. It's hitting the pause button. I'm always like just trying to move full speed, which I love. But again, sometimes you do have to hit that pause button, self-reflect on some of that shit. And I mean, just like you said, I always say that I would not be where I am today if I didn't go through that shit at a young age.
Exactly.
And so similar, my dad passed away when I was 5, stepdad passed away when I was 12, and then my best friend passed away right in front of me, got hit by a car when we were 15. So it was like same shit, just like a bunch of shit happened. And then I just kind of went full speed, threw myself into shit. And then it wasn't until my late 20s where I was like, oh, fuck, maybe some of that shit does fuck with me a little bit.
It does, yeah.
And then you kind of realize it. And then you're like, all right, cool. Like I'm grateful all of it happened. But again, your thought patterns are wired a certain way. And so it's, again, having that different perspective in order to kind of change the thought patterns.
Yeah, those behaviors saved me is because I didn't cherish life. Yeah. So because I had a tough life and there's lots of violence and death all around me, and it was just the nature of the world I grew up in, when I went into the Marine Corps and then I was exposed to war, I'd be the last one in and the first one asleep. So 20 other men, 60 other men are like haunted by their day. and it didn't affect me at all. Maybe I'm slightly psychopathic. I don't know, but I could compartmentalize all that hard shit and execute really well. And they were struggling. Actually, to this day, 70% of them probably struggle pretty bad. They're like inundated with being able to survive in reality. Like they just can't make it without chemical manipulation, like different psychoactive drugs and alcoholism and stuff like that. Is that they don't know how to deal with it. And I learned to let go of those things 4 decades ago when I was a kid, So if it wasn't for those things, I'd be like them most likely. And I wouldn't probably be in this form today. So the trauma, if used correctly, is a very powerful tool that can separate you from the masses quickly. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your form of trauma, and it resulted in your champion nature. And that's similar indication. You look at almost all successful people, a lot of them have highly traumatic backgrounds that they don't even talk about. And it's those things resulted in their successes because life was hard to them, and they figured out how to get harder.
Yeah. And just like you said before that as well, nothing's really hard for me anymore.
Exactly, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll take my business down to fucking 0, and it won't even phase me. Where a normal person would be like, how are we going to survive? They're like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, watch this.
Yeah.
Right? And it'd be like $20,000 a day, $30,000 a day. And you're like, how is that even possible? It's because I'm a fucking badass.
100%. And I have a high risk tolerance.
Yeah, we'll go. Like, so? It's dollars on a spreadsheet. That means nothing.
Yep.
Like, it's fake. It's made up. They print it from the fucking sky when they feel like it. Like, so why should I believe I can't get access to it? No, that's the only problem is you believe you don't get access to it. That's what the system has convinced you. I understand is that it's infinite. You just got to figure out how to move it around the matrix a little bit. And it's not that complicated.
I mean, money's a flow of energy. That's why anyone who sits there and hoards their money and doesn't spend it, you're not going to fucking make more. We got to understand that you made it, you'll be able to make more. And if you want to make more, you need to spend it as well. And that's how this fucking world works. And that's how money works.
That's how everything works.
Yep.
You don't get anything unless you give.
Yep.
You're not going to get the woman of your dreams if you don't give and pour into her, provide for her, be the man she always dreamed of. Like, that's work. Yeah. You don't just get to sit at the fucking finish line and be like, where's my dream wife?
Yep.
No, motherfucker, it's time to still work. Like, you got to pour into her, make sure you're worthy, trust her, cherish her, be committed. You got to do all the hard shit. Yeah. Like, you don't think life's hard? Like, as a man that's got to provide, like, when you don't know where it's coming from, but you got to smile and be that rock for your chick. Like, no, that's still continual work. It takes a bad, savage dude to do that and earn the respect and admiration of their partner. And so many of you guys don't deserve it and think you do. That's the sad part about reality. Until motherfucker like Carter steps in the room and you're like, my chick ain't even looked my direction since that stud entered the room. You'd be like, God damn, I got to do more. And that's just a reminder is that your world isn't secure. It can blink in a second. It can be gone from you, and you have to continually drive energy into it to make sure you're worthy of that dream life. And I'll never forget that when I'm slacking, my life can change in a second, and I have to constantly push energy into my reality so that I get to live my dream life and the people around me.
Yeah. And with men, bro, is we feel our best when we are taking fucking action.
Yeah.
Because the guys that I know who work the hardest, grind the hardest, take the biggest risks, and put in the most fucking action are the happiest and most fulfilled motherfuckers. Oh, yeah. And every dude I know who's doing the complete opposite and they're fucking off, they're sitting in that comfortable environment, they're not putting in the action, are always the unhappiest ones.
Oh, yeah. They're miserable.
So it's like, as a man, like, dude, you thrive best under pressure. You thrive when you're fucking taking action. So take action behind some shit and watch everything change. Watch your fucking reality shift.
Yeah, 100%. And the beautiful part about being a man, I don't know the experience of being females. I'll never give birth. I don't pretend that your job is easy. Fuck, thank God for you girls. But as a man, I understand the harder my life is, the more I appreciate it. And the more I respect it, and the more it fulfills me, and the more it makes me feel like a stud, even though sometimes I'm not so studly. And to me, the validation is in the work and the routines. The harder I go, when I hit my macros for the day, I feel like a champion, even though I might not be standing on that stage. When I hit my macros, I think clear. When I hit my exercises, I hit my routines, and I get that pump, I don't feel worse. I feel better. Those little things add up. When I do the right things in my business, I make the sales calls, and they don't all go my way, but then I close a deal. Like, it gets better every time, and it's the work that instills the worth. It isn't, most people think it's the destination that you end up in life, that it's the fancy car or the dream girl or the big house or the beautiful family. No. It was the work along the way that made that reality possible. And I've learned to love the work, not the end result. And that means is I'm stuck in an infinite loop of working harder and harder all the time to be a better and better person, spiritually, financially, nutritionally, physically, all of it, relationship-wise. And that's the journey I think a lot of people, the missing component of their reality is the work loop that they're not in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's also why you see billionaires who still work their fucking ass off. They could cash out and chill, but pretty much none of them fucking don't.
Yeah.
They all keep grinding, and it's why. It's because they're obsessed with the work. They're obsessed with the process. There is no end destination.
For a guy, reality isn't hanging out at the pool, looking cute for a selfie. Like, how does my swimsuit and shoes look? Like, that's not a very fulfilling reality for at least most men. And the opposite happens. The will to continue and live starts to disintegrate.
Yeah.
The pleasures in life that should bring you happiness don't. It's weird is for men, the harder it is, the more we like it.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like people that play contact sports, like if they win easily, they don't really like it. Like they like a grind down to like the 2-minute alarm on the football field. And then like it's a fumble and no one saw it coming and the dude runs it all the way back for a score. And they're like, holy shit, this was amazing. And everybody will be on cloud 9. It wasn't an easy win. It was a difficult win. And we appreciate the difficulty in the world. And I don't think a lot of females are built like that. Like they have a different kind of perception of reality. And I don't think girls in masses, we're just generally speaking, I don't think they're like a difficult existence oftentimes. Yeah. And at least the women in my life. Yeah. And maybe I have a bad picker, but my experience with girls, I know my daughter doesn't like a difficult life. I know that. She likes an easy one. She's like, Dad, can you get me this thing? I'm like, sure, honey, no problem. I love you too. Here's your new car. God damn.
That's why I always like tell dudes too. It's like, that's why everyone's like, oh, I just want to chill. I just want to chill. Go on vacation for 5 days, sit on the beach, do nothing but like drink cocktails and sit on the beach. I promise you by day 3, you're gonna be like, all right, cool. This is kind of fucking boring. I'm ready for something different.
Yeah.
It always happens.
It doesn't work like that for me. I can only do 3 to 5 day vacation. I'll do 1 day of activity, 1 day of rest. Like I'll do the spa shit and like get the massages and the oils and all that stuff. And then I'll go out active, like hunt for shit to see and then rest. So rest, recovery. I can't do either. I can't sit forever and like hang out at the pool and like sunbathe. Like I will actually go into a psycho loop. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. My life's not moving forward. Like, why am I even here?
Like,
and I start to pick up the phone. I'm like, can we get like a temp meeting? Like Carter, I'm going to send you a link. Can you like set up this meeting real quick? Because I can't take this shit anymore. I've had 3 virgin daiquiris and I don't feel shit in life. And the water's still blue and I'm getting burnt, bro. And my chick is in love right now with just like her toes out and like splashing in the waters. And that's not me. Like I can't do that. Like I need to be active and that's it. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So with that, I understand that about your personality. What is it that keeps you driving forward today? Like what is your why? We talk about purpose. Most people don't even understand what the fuck that word means. Like, what is Carter's why in progressing and doing these difficult things? Because what you do isn't easy. You just make it look easy.
Yeah, my why's kind of shifted over the years. When I competed, I just fell in love with bodybuilding, and I knew what I was capable of, and so it was really all about me. It was. And then when I got to the point where I was like, all right, cool. Like I achieved all this shit. Like I made a name for myself. I have the titles. But it just wasn't fulfilling. Yeah. And that's when I kind of got into coaching and I started changing people's lives. And I was like, holy shit, I'm having grown men cry to me about how I've completely altered their life, the way their wives look at them, the way their clients look at them, the way they look at themselves. And so that became my passion. And it still very much is my passion and my purpose right now. But then when I met my wife, dude, that's like, all I want to do is give her everything she fucking wants. My wife likes nice shit. Yeah. So I'm going to work my fucking ass off to make sure my wife can have whatever the fuck she wants. I don't ever want to tell my wife or my kids no. If my kid wants to play 10 sports, I want to be able to afford all 10 sports for them to go play. Like, I don't ever want to have to tell anyone in my family fucking no. Same thing, if my brother, someone calls me and they need something, I want to be able to provide that for them.
Yeah.
The biggest fucking stressor for people in life is fucking finances.
Yeah.
So if I can eliminate that stress for the people I love, dude, I'm willing to go to war and fucking go through the grind in order to provide that for them. So that's really been the biggest like purpose for me and the biggest driver right now is like, I don't ever want to tell my wife no, bro. Like I want her to have whatever the fuck she wants. And so I will work my ass off to make that happen.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think that's the purpose of men, is to provide. So there's several P's, and I refer to these often, is they're the pillars of masculinity. Provision. If you can't provide, you have no function as a man. Stop paying the bills in the house, right? That only so much that female is going to hold it down for you before she decides that I don't need this bum around. I don't need another grown-ass kid hanging out. Number two, it's protection. Probably number one, but number two is if a man can't protect me. So if big fucking Chad in the restaurant comes by and like just decides he's gonna grab your wife's butt, like you're supposed to whoop ass. Are you the guy that's gonna take a beating because 250-pound Chad's gonna just stomp you into the mud? Or are you gonna sit back and let Chad just get handsy with your old lady? You need to provide. A man's job is to die for his family. As sad as that is, you have to be able to lay down your life for the people you love. You're the man. You do man shit, right? No one's asking you to give birth. You ain't doing that shit, pussy. So die for your family so they get away. And last one is procreate. If you're not making children or creating the next generation at some point in life, you have limited value back towards the family circle, because that is the American dream. Provide, protect, and procreate. Like that's it. That's in every religious book. It's all there. So you have to understand is satisfy those first. Money is probably one of the easiest things to get. Learning how to throw a punch and be a little bit dangerous takes a little bit of time, effort, not too difficult. Being willing to sacrifice your life for other people is actually quite hard. It's very cliche, but most people won't do it. It's like, nah, I got a headache, honey. You go ahead and punch Chad now. Yeah, that's why you don't date these soft ass fucking dudes, girls. Like date a masculine man's man. And one that's a little scary. Like, if he loses his temper too much, I might get my head fucking knocked off. Like you kind of like a dude like that, but he has it under control. That's sexy. I mean,
and that's the biggest thing. And that's why any of you men out there who are not taking care of your health and fitness, not just health for longevity, you need to be able to fucking perform, to be able to protect, like he was mentioning. Like if you go to a fucking restaurant, like you have to have the ability to protect, to provide, to run. If shit fucking happens, there's a fucking fire in the building, I know damn well I can throw my wife over my fucking shoulder and sprint out of that motherfucker.
That's right. Like
you have to have that capability. If you don't, you're a fucking waste product, bro, and you're literally letting your entire family down. So get your shit together, fucking take care of your health and fitness. And again, provide that shit.
Provide, protect, procreate, and cherish the people you love, and you'll be unstoppable. That's for real, man. That's a good one right there. Like being selfless is massively freeing as an adult and as a mature male. Is if you could do something for other people, nothing can stop you, because it's not about you anymore. Like it's about them. So you wake up and you're breathing for other people. You'll suffer. You'll endure anything. And a lot of times it's silent. As a man, most men suffer in silent desperation. Like they're literally a decision away from picking up a 38 and blasting the back of their head out. And that's a common loop a lot of men are stuck in. And it's one thing to suffer with no outlet and really be on the struggle, but you have to find positive outlets and validate yourself some other way, because life can get pretty hard quick.
Well, like you said in the beginning, bro, you got to be able to hit the pause button.
Yeah.
Because that pause button is what allows you to actually address that shit, figure it the fuck out, and then make sure you don't suffer in silence.
Yeah, 100%.
So it doesn't have to fucking be that way. But again, nobody hits the pause button. They go full speed with shit, throw themselves into whatever, and then years pass, and the next thing you know, you still have these fucked up feelings.
Yeah, 100%. I just let them go. Like I'm like, oh, guilt.
Yeah.
I let go of that shit like a ton of bricks, man. I don't give a fuck. Like today's a new day. Not everybody's like that. I know people that deal with their trauma and they're like hung up over some old ass shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how many conversations I had with, the female in my life where I did something I wasn't even aware of like 4 years ago. Remember on this date at this time, you did this thing and said this, made me feel this way. I'm still upset about it. Like, what? I don't remember what I wore yesterday, girlfriend. What are you talking about?
What I had for breakfast?
3 years ago. Like, you've been holding on to this for 3 years and you said 0. It's been bothering you. I was like, don't you think you should have said something, I don't know, every day along those 3 years so I could maybe adjust? But now you let it bother you this much. It's like, you got to learn to communicate and let go of some of those things. Like, life isn't that difficult. It's really not. Okay, so you're up ass fucking early. That's crazy. And then what time are you going to sleep? Are you like a midnight kind of person, a 10, an 8?
Fuck no, bro. I can't go to bed at midnight. My boy, I'm not going to operate that very well if I do that shit. I'm normally in bed by like 9:30. The lights are out by fucking 10, bro.
That's good.
My wife laughs at me because I'll like head will hit the pillow and then she'll look over 30 seconds later and I'm fucking out. So
that's me. Like, you give me a pillow right now, I'm not even tired. I
I'll
can sleep
fall
right
asleep
there.
right here, 100%.
Yeah, on the cold ass concrete. That's for real, man. And that pisses some people off. That's all right. Deal with it. All right. What is a vice that you currently have? Like, for me, I talk about ice cream all the time. Like, I don't even know if I'd want to live life if the doctor told me I was lactose intolerant. I'd be like, what? No more ice cream. I would panic. He could tell me I had cancer and I probably wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, do I get to eat ice cream? Like that was it. That's how pleasurable cookies and cream ice cream is to me, and Ben and Jerry's cookie dough. What's one of your vices, dude, that you're like stressed out and like 2 a.m, you're like sneaking that shit in? You look like a cereal kind of person. Like the whole bowl of cereal.
I'm not a fucking cereal person. So this is what's crazy. We live in Fort Lauderdale, right off Las Olas. I've never been a fucking donut guy my entire life, but there's this Hollywood Donuts. You guys got the plug there. If there's a Hollywood donut near you, I fucking highly recommend you go. Coming from the fitness coach. Bro, their donuts are fucking delicious, and it's like 2 doors away from our building. You come down the elevator, you walk out, and it's like 2 restaurants over. Yeah, you can smell that shit, or you walk the dog, and the dog starts pulling you over because she gets the pup cup every time we go there. So it's like, now shit, I gotta go get the fucking donuts. That's my shit right there, dude. A fucking good old chocolate frosted donut from them, a little pup cup for my dog, and I'm chilling.
I haven't had a donut in a long time, boy.
Bro, I'm never a fucking donut guy, but now they're just like, I don't know, man. They've gotten me.
Over in time, it changes. For me, what I'm hearing is donut and a scoop of ice cream in the middle. That's what I hear. That's what I heard with his donut. Ice cream in the middle. I'm just saying, man. So if you didn't know, I actually have like probably a clinical issue with ice cream. Just saying. I gave up drugs and alcohol and I replaced it with Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing.
I got my thing, man. It's okay. Like, I'm not hiding it in the pantry.
Hey, but here's the beautiful part, my friends. You can still be fit and sexy and have some of those things if you have the right fucking strategy. So figure out how the fuck to do it. If you don't know how to do it, hire someone. Shift your reality, have the pleasures in life, and still fucking look good.
Yeah, 100%. That plan is so important. We'll go back to that real quick about what Carter does, and we talked a little bit about life and got a little crazy here. But at the end of the day, the man's sitting here to help those that need it, right? So if you're a busy entrepreneur, a professional, someone that has a lot of time, you figured out money, and you've noticed that some of the things in your life are starting to disintegrate. Your health, spirituality, your family, your relationships, your intimacy with your partner. It might be time to redirect some of those resources back internal. Give someone like Carter a call, because help is literally one call away. And what's money when it comes to feeling better? I want to put up some of those transformations from Carter and some of these high achieving entrepreneurs and see year prior, year current, and see that, and you're like, this motherfucker right here is a goddamn stud. Like, there is no way his woman isn't chasing this dude around the house to make more half dozen babies. Like, you can see it. Like, he stands on stage and he's a fucking presence. There is nothing worse than walking into a space as a man, no one notices who you are. That's it. That is the worst feeling in the planet, to be an invisible person to the people around you, versus being a presence. That's it. I would much rather walk into a space and be a force and a presence that people notice than to be invisible. That's it.
So I tell everyone, my goal is to make sure you walk into any room and you command a presence without you even speaking a word.
That's it.
Because when you do that, you will completely alter your reality. You will alter the way people think about you, how they talk about you, how your wife looks at you, and more importantly, how you think about yourself. And when you change those things, your entire reality shifts, and that's where you start feeling fulfilled.
That's it. That's when you're a stud and you can walk into a space and you'd be like, man, any chick in this room I know would be blessed to have me by her side. That's it. And when you walk into a room and every man in the room would want to be me and have that woman standing next to them, you already know. You made it. Work and put in the effort to start building that man today so that you never have to be invisible again. And that's it. That's the plug. That's it. I'm a 45-year-old dude and I'm a fucking stud. I can tell you right now, I have room to improve. And when I do, everything else in my world improves. It is linked for sure.
100%.
That's it, man. If you wanted to leave the audience with one thing, drop it on them, man.
Yeah, one thing for everyone out there, especially the men out there, you need to take fucking action. It's cool you have the thoughts, it's cool you have the desires, but if you don't back that shit out with any kind of action, you're not going to get anywhere in life. So understand everything's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Pick your fucking hard, push through it, and I promise you on the backside of that shit, you're going to feel like a completely new person. And as I keep saying, completely alter your reality. And that's my goal, is make everyone realize when you alter your reality, that's where you are truly fulfilled and you're operating at your absolute best. And that's how we should all run through this life, because our time on this planet is very fucking limited. Make the most of it. Wake up every day proud of who you are, proud of what you created, and proud of what the fuck you do. And that's the true life experience.
Hell yes. And that's a perfect close to everything we talked about. Carter's information will be down in the bottom. Hit that link. Creep on his page. Ladies, stay the fuck away. He's got a beautiful wife, and you gay dudes, you're not his type. But in general, creep on him. You're going to learn something and start adopting some of his behaviors. He shows his routine, his life, and the things that have made him successful as a man in 2025. Stop sleeping on it. The world's moving quick. Are you? Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Later.
Peace.